Hi guys, this is my video tutorial to add to my collection so I remember how to do these. These are a cute little, it's called the Sweet Storybook Box. It opens up like a storybook and closes just like that. This will hold two fun size Snickers or the big Reese's egg. It'll hold both of those. This would be really great little party favors or gifts. This one I have made it close with a magnet, and I'm not really happy with that because you can see the magnet on the part where you would write your sentiment. So I think in the future I will close them like I did these. I just put a piece of paper to hold the tab there, and you could decorate that out and go crazy with that. You could put brads in it, you could do all sorts of cool stuff. So these are the ones that I've made that are kind of fall themed, and this one same thing. So this is a super easy box to make. I got the video from a woman at The Paper Pixie was her name, thepaperpixie.com, and she has a really good tutorial on it. I'm making one for my YouTube channel so that I only have to go look in one place because I can't remember where everything was, so I'm just gonna make my own little thing so I know how to do it. So the first piece of paper that you need is going to be 6.5 by 5.5. The next piece of paper you're going to need is 3.25 by 9 7/16. And yes, that's an annoying measurement, but it's 9 7/16. And then you need one piece of paper that is 1 inch by 4.25 inches. And your decorative pieces, I've taken my corner rounder to these to make this process just a little bit faster. You need one piece of DSP that's going to be 3 1/8 by 2, and then the white piece of paper needs to be the same measurement. That's 3 1/8 by 2, and then the one for the bottom of the box is 3 by 2, but it's a short 2. So if you want to make it just shy of 2 inches, it'll sit down inside that box really nice. And then this little piece is 1 inch, give or take. It's actually about 7/8 of an inch by 3 1/8. And this is going to go on the binding part of our book. So we might have to trim it just a little bit, but I think it will work. So to start with, you're going to need your scoreboard and your piece of paper that is 5.5 by 6.5. We are actually going to score it on all 4 sides at 7/8 and at 1 3/4. So then we're going to spin it and we're going to do the same thing, 7/8 and 1 3/4, 7/8 and 1 3/4, 7/8 and 1 3/4. So you should have this series of boxes there. Now, on the long piece of paper that we have, the 9 7/16, you're going to score it at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4, and then flip it around and do the same thing, 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So you should have an inch space here in the middle and equal portions on both sides. Then our little 1 inch strip, we are going to score at 2 1/8 and then at 3 1/8. And this is going to be our little clasp that holds our box shut. Now the trickiest part of doing this was remembering which parts of this to cut off to make this box. And the easiest way that I can come up with is you have 4 boxes here in the corner. The only one you want is this one. So we are going to cut off, I'm going to call them the top 2, I guess. I'm going to cut those off and this one off. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that score line off so that that fits nice and tight. So then you have this little step, and you're going to do that on all 4 sides. So we're going to cut the top 2 off of there, and then this one. dog must have found something he really doesn't like. That's kind of annoying. So again, we have these top two. I'm gonna cut these off. Hopefully that doesn't annoy you as much as it's annoying me. And then we cut this one off. I'm gonna do this on all 4 sides. Like that. This was the part that was the hardest to try and remember from memory after I made the first one, was what pieces was I supposed to cut off? And I really like the way this box comes together. It's really sturdy. So now you have this little notch on all 4 corners. You're going to cut in towards the center of your box, and then you're going to miter just this corner. So you should have something that looks like this. And we're going to duplicate that on the other side. So we come straight in and miter that. In and miter that. So you should have something that looks like that when you're finished cutting out those corners and mitering those edges. Now we're going to fold and burnish all of our score lines. This box comes together really, really nice, and it's super sturdy. I think it will be really easy to redo the measurements on this to make it fit different things, but I like the construction of it, so I want to try and use it for some of the other boxes that I've made. I want to go back and see if I can come up with the same design. I think it will make things a lot sturdier for some of that stuff. So the way I do this is the easiest to remember, is I take the glue and I put it on the outside of these tabs. And then we have this flap here. We're going to put glue on the inside of this, because we're going to be gluing this down. So the easiest way to do this is to fold the sides in. Let's see if I can get this where you can see it a little better. It's to fold the sides in and take that end and bring it down and then square it up. And it's just super sturdy, and it squares that box up nice and tight. Your corners look nice and clean. It's just a really excellent way to do it. I happen to like the way it looks too with this double-sided paper. So again, the other side, we have our flaps. And then the inside, the top one. Kind of a messy glue job, but it'll work. And then we're just going to fold that over and down. And it makes that nice and secure, and it'll hold it nice and tight. Then we have these 2 flaps that we put glue on. Here and here. And we do the same thing with those. If you've cut those score lines off right, it should slide in there. It might be a little bit tight, but you can always trim those score lines off each side of that if you've got it too snug. And there is our little box. Take your bone folder and kind of squish everything down in there. It works really nice. And that, it's a super sturdy little container. Now for the book part. Now I've taken my little, I have a Fiskars corner rounder, and I've used this one to round these corners because I think it will look really cute, but I'm gonna have to do it again on these corners, and that is going to be rather tricky because now I'm going through 2 layers of paper. So take your long piece, and you want to fold all of these score lines as well. Now what we're going to be doing with this is we are going to glue these flaps, the outside flaps, to the inside ones. So we're just going to basically fold it like this and glue it. I am going to attempt to punch these corners out, and we shall see if that will work. It's going through 2 layers of paper, and this poor punch is kind of old. So. Nope, it's just not going to let me do it. Well, that's a bummer. I'm just not strong enough. Whew. To try that again. Ha! Oof, that was a lot more work than it should have been. Wow. Now I have 3 more. Oof. That one. So this obviously works a lot better on cardstock that is not as thick, which is what I would recommend. Wow. Whoo-wee. I might have to call in the big muscles here. Pardon me 1 second. There's that one. Last one. Can I do it? When all else fails, use your feet. Now, my little book will have these cute little corners. Oh my goodness. So, like I said, we are going to glue this to this. And this, oops, it's probably a lot of glue for that little part, to this. So this is the little binding, I guess is what you could call it, for our box, and our box is going to sit right on top of that. Now, before you glue this box down, you want to glue the strap to the back of your box. Now, you'll notice that the strap is a little bit longer than the box. I think the original video had her she attached the strap to the back of the binding, and I wanted to hide it, so I stuck it underneath here. So what I like to do is I like to glue this. This is a 3-inch box. This is a 1-inch strip. So I like to glue this, lining it up with the score line that I made in the center of this box, just like that. And then I just come with my scissors and lop that off. Now it's nice and this goes up against the thing anyway, so you're not going to see it. But now my strap for my box will be hidden underneath it. Then you take your glue and you glue your box to your binding. Now I like to line it up with this score line here so that you have a nice reveal around all of the edges of your binding, a lot like a book. So you want to center it top and bottom. Just about like that. And there is your book. I don't know that the corners really added anything to it. They're kind of cute, but I probably won't do those again considering how much work that was, and they don't make it look all that more adorable. It's a nice little touch though. All right, so then what you can do is you can take your piece, and I thought that I cut that a little bit large, didn't I? So you're gonna take your strip that you want to decorate the inside binding with. And technically it should slide kind of underneath that box anyway. Get yourself a nice reveal on it. This 3" by just shy of 2. Doesn't need a whole lot of glue on it because it's going to the bottom. Sits right down inside there. You could put a message on there. It would be really cute to have it underneath whatever's in there. There's that. And this would be for your sentiment. I didn't really pay attention in the video when I watched. The paper pixie didn't put anything on the inside cover, if I remember right. But I thought that this was a nice little touch to put your message. Now I like those little things there. Just don't know that they're worth it. And then this one will go on the front. Now you could put a magnet in there if you wanted, or Velcro. I saw the paper pixie used Velcro. I didn't like the way the magnet worked out. I don't have any Velcro, so I'm just gonna do the little strip that holds the binding or the strap shut. Well, isn't that pretty? Now that little strip, this tiny little thing, it is only like 1/8 of an inch wide. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut. It is 1/8 of an inch by about 2 inches. What I cut mine. You can make it wider if you want. You can make it as wide as you want, but much bigger than that, and it looks kind of clunky. I think I over trim that a little bit if I can. I don't know if I can. Made it too big. So then what I do with this is I take the glue and I put a little bit on about 1/2 inch, because that strap is 1 inch long, so you don't want to go much longer than that, otherwise it won't go in and out of there. So about 1/2 inch on each side with the glue. And then I just kind of eyeball where I want it to sit. I want it to sit right about there. Now, what I do at this point is I kind of take it and I push it together a little bit so that it bows off the paper. Just a smidge. Oh man, I got glue stuck to everything. Wow, it's awful. So if you push it together just a little bit, you can see it kind of bows up. If you just hold it right there without getting glue on everything, then that little strap will slide underneath there a little bit easier. I hope that comes off. I need to leave it alone for now. So then your little strap slides right underneath there. And that's it. You can decorate this, you can decorate that. You can go crazy with it at this point. Too fun. Oh, I'm glad I made a video of that to help me remember.